Girlfriend of the cheating wife persuaded her against her husband for divorce, and after which the wife bitterly regretted it. I am unhappy, David. For my part, I want to divorce. It seemed as if the whole world had turned upside down when Anna said those words. I was taken aback, but not totally caught unawares. I had seen that, after over 25 years of marriage, she was increasingly confiding in her friend Megan, who considered herself an authority on marriage. Having gone through 4 divorces herself, Megan is an authority in the field. Is this what you heard, David? I want a divorce, I said. Yes, Anna, I did hear you, I said, attempting to maintain my composure. Please don't make me react hastily. This is important. My self-perception as a caring spouse and devoted parent has never wavered. I am taken aback by this as you have never brought up any issues with our closeness. I will not put obstacles on your path to happiness if our marriage is causing you misery. I will respect your choice to divorce, no matter how much it pains me. Is this anything brand fresh or has it been simmering for some time? Anna's reaction was distant. As you said, it has been growing. In order to discover new things and meet interesting people, I need time and room to roam. After we sign the paperwork, we are legally required to remain apart for 100 days. Maybe I'll reconsider and choose not to finalize the divorce. I paused for a while to think about what she said. According to what I've read, we may date other people during the 100-day separation without it being seen as adultery, but we both have to agree to end the divorce. We don't need each other's approval to go on. Unaware that I had the same liberty, Anna was surprised. If I filed first, I reasoned, the decision to proceed with or halt the divorce would be mine to make. That was my protest. Your position is unfair, Anna, so that we are both on equal ground. I will also file. Is it something you can get behind? Anna paused. I guess. Are you also expressing a desire for a divorce? I really believed I was doing a decent job as a spouse, parent, and business associate. Don't think I'm trying to sabotage your future by requesting a divorce. Although you have been an excellent wife and mother, your need for more evidence is that I have failed you. Already have legal representation? No, the paperwork has not arrived at my desk yet. Since Jack Thompson handled all of Megan's divorces, I want to employ him. I pondered Megan once more. My cousin Emily will likely be asked to take care of my side. Even if you dislike her, she is an aggressive yet compassionate lawyer who will not back down from a battle for justice. During our last family reunion, she volunteered to represent me pro bono in the event that I ever need legal representation for a divorce. Very impressive, Anna said to herself. Now what? In the 2 weeks that follow, let us get ready. The beginning of the next month will mark the beginning of our separation. For what reasons should we be ready in advance of the separation? Her eyes betrayed her uncertainty as she asked. I mentioned that we're taking some time apart to figure out if we really want a divorce by experiencing what it's like to live apart. In order to avoid any complications down the road, this should serve as a trial period for living after the divorce. Would you agree with that? I suppose I hadn't considered it in that light, Anna confessed. We should get a notebook from the kitchen and make a list of all the things that require doing. I got out of bed and proceeded to advise making coffee. Anna came into the kitchen just as I was putting the finishing touches on the coffee brew and taking notes. Sure, there are many things to think about. We need to begin by discussing the children. Tell me what you mean, Anna inquired, her voice cautious. I assured them it was not their fault and that we needed to explain what was occurring while also making sure they heard the same message. Anna seemed worried. We may not get along with our daughters after breaking the news to them. Is immediate notification necessary? Isn't it possible to hold off on informing them if anything changes throughout the 100 days? Disagreed with it. Their inquiries on the split will inevitably arise, therefore we must prepare for them. For their sake, I believe it's best if you remain at home throughout the separation. Occasionally we can still hang out. Anna was not convinced. But how about our relationships with others? Can we still go out if we are not both interested? Resentment may develop as a result. Life after a divorce has to be experienced appropriately. When the kids see us hanging out with other people, how will they react? We should also inform our friends and extended family so that there are no confusion or rumors regarding adultery. I emphasized how important it was that we be constant in our message and express our affection for them. I think our girls can handle this, even with the support of a professional counselor. I made an effort to uplift spirits, Perhaps our new partners will bring additional grandparents into their lives, which might lead to an increase in the number of special occasion presents they get. However, special occasions like vacations and birthdays may need careful planning. Although her expression remained one of skepticism and resignation, Anna let out a heavy sigh. Yeah, I think it's time to start making plans. I stressed to Anna how critical it was that we maintain the secrecy of our new connections. Rather of taking them home while the other parent was with the kids, I proposed that if one of us began dating someone else, we should meet somewhere else. We proceeded to discuss the monetary consequences of running two houses independently, recognizing that our expenditures would rise substantially. I laid out the ground rules, explaining that we did both have to become used to paying our own bills. Closing joint accounts and arranging for child support are 2 steps toward dividing our joint assets equitably, as I brought up before. According to Anna, who seemed taken aback, the statement was understood. Prior to the actual separation, there is a great deal of ground to cover. I'll investigate the possibility of renting an apartment that is more conveniently located near my workplace, I continued. That way, on the evenings that I have visitation, the girls would have somewhere to sleep while they stay over. On weekends and other significant holidays, the non-resident parent usually gets to visit the kids, unless we come to a different agreement. My readiness caught Anna off guard. She pointed out that she had assumed you would be dating more often. You two are always having a blast with the ladies. I told her that I would be there for them as much as possible, but that you should be prepared to shoulder some of the tasks that I am now responsible for. School responsibilities could make nighttime visits difficult. Just as I would if I met someone, you may have to pitch in and help out with your new partner's kids' extracurriculars. Next, we went over some of the more practical concerns, such as dividing up their possessions between 2 homes and the possibility of transportation problems, particularly if my house is in T on the school bus route, which may throw off their daily schedule. According to Megan, this isn't happening as planned, Anna thought. Upon hearing the word divorce, she suggested you would cave, promising to keep up all your family duties while letting me date other people. The matter is quickly spiraling out of my control. Clearly, she was having a hard time. David, I am astounded. I really should go to bed now. Tomorrow we will meet again. I am returning to my slumber. Apologies, sweetie, but I have a few more things to put down before I go to sleep. My thought process is familiar to you. The more we can set the stage now, the less difficult it will be later. Farewell for the evening. That night, Anna hardly slept at all. She had to inform Megan about my surprise answer and have a conversation with her. What comes next would be clear to Megan. She was able to finally nod asleep because of this reassurance. I was already out of bed when she woke up. The idea crossed her mind this dweeb spent the whole night filling out the divorce paperwork. However, I was not there in the kitchen when she came in. On the table, there was only a notebook. I was fast sleeping when she peeked into the guest room. She got back to work in the kitchen and began preparing breakfast. She looked at the notebook while everything cooked. As an example of what I had written under liabilities to change, there were things like mortgage, homeowner insurance, utility, automobile, and health insurance payment adjustments, among many others. Adding to the modifications we had discussed the night before, this was much worse. Anna would need a certain amount of child support to keep up with her and the children's present lifestyle, and the next page outlined my expected expenditures connected to my apartment stay and a projected budget showing that amount. According to the predictions, there would be a monthly deficit of several hundred. I had also proposed budget-cutting measures, such as cutting down on my regular excursions to the coffee shop and restaurant, an idea that seemed to tickle her funny. She tacked on her personal expenditures like going to the gym, joining a women's club, and eating out more often than once a week. I went so far as to itemize the children's outlays for things like uniforms, extracurricular activities, and other necessities. Anna would have a lot of responsibilities, which I detailed on another page. These responsibilities include things like gas station runs, routine maintenance, scheduling plumbing or mechanic appointments, taking care of the grass and vehicle washing, food shopping, and so on. Frustrated, she put down the paper. David should be acting appropriately and satisfying my wants. Before David gets up, I have to give Megan a call. Calling Megan, Anna said softly. Greetings, Megan. This is Anna. We should stay quiet as David is sleeping close by. Last night, how was it? A favorable news was anticipated. and Megan's voice betrayed her delight. He reluctantly consented to our divorce and began to enumerate all the responsibilities that would otherwise fall on me, rather than seeking my input on how he might do better to avoid my dissolution of our marriage. David plans to live on his own and just see the girls on weekends. He is adamant that we act as if we are divorcing for 100 days before deciding whether or not to go forward. The thought of a divorce doesn't seem to actually terrify him. How can I proceed? Hey, pay attention, you naive girl, Megan scolded. His goal is to influence you. What he says is completely false. He'll never formally sign anything. He should not feel obligated to make you feel reliant on him by listing all the little things he does, more so when he's on you. Keep in mind that you have complete power over the children and all intimate matters. He will be disciplined by those two things. He is just talking. Rest assured. John and you will soon find that you love one other company, and you will still be married and have a house to call your own. If you are right, John is definitely worth the effort. So far, David has done nothing. I will not budge until I see his subsequent action. I appreciate it, Megan. Standing up, he is. I need to go. Would you want a cup of coffee, David? I stomped over to the coffee maker and Anna anxiously inquired. I warned that it was not a good idea to consume coffee so close to bedtime. Last night I slept sparingly. Could you just get into bed with me? I did go for a stroll, although I'll confess that I was nervous. Tell me what you mean, my love. Looking perplexed, she inquired. Your nude state while you slept arouses me much. You are the most beautiful lady I've ever laid eyes on, but I remain cautious. If we were to have sexual relations, I worry it would be from a place of sympathy meant to ease my suffering over the divorce suggestion. I doubted I would be able to say no. My darling, our marriage is intact. At least until our paths diverge, I am solely yours. Until then, why don't we behave like a married couple? No, I'm sorry. I'm even more certain than before that we should begin behaving as if we were separated right now, even if our formal separation won't to begin until the beginning of the month. Your expression of dissatisfaction marked the beginning of it all. Even though I am no longer an integral part of your life, it is my sincere desire to see you happy that will make this transition so much harder for me. Anna attempted to assuage my fears. We are not required to seek a divorce just because we have separated. Let me be for a while so I can figure out who I am. In my opinion, we have what it takes to stay married and maybe even grow closer. My skepticism was voiced. I will divide up our affairs and take the day off. The maintenance staff will be supervised by Billy today. Our financial situation needs immediate attention. Always arrive on time for work. I'll get the kids ready for school and make breakfast. James, an attractive co-worker, stopped by later in the day to flirt with Anna. She was nervous, but she consented to talk about how they may listen to music later. Memories of her sexy times with James in the elevator took precedence over our separation in her mind. Anna found evidence that I had been around throughout the day when she got home from work. Seeing this made her feel better, and she was mentally and emotionally ready to tackle the money issues we had spoken about. She seemed to be thinking, I'll give myself 100 days to figure out how to have an affair with James without being caught. After that, she may attempt to stay married. Resuming her seat at the kitchen table, she reread her notepad. To the list, I had included a couple of other things. Additionally, she made note of a newly added list called Possible Women to Date. It was divided into two sections: ladies who had previously shown interest, and women whose interest status I would want to inquire about. Her sister Linda's name stood out among the others in the first column, which further shocked her. Without wasting a second, Anna called Linda. "Hello," Linda responded. "Good day. I can't believe you tried to kidnap my spouse." A loud voice was raised by Anna. "Hey, take it easy, lady. So what's the deal?" Perplexed, Linda inquired. "Your name is on the list that David prepared of the ladies who expressed interest in dating him. I don't know about the list, but I did tell him under the influence of alcohol that I would be interested in replacing you if he ever got smart and stopped being so naive and unappreciative. Can you tell me what is going on? Let me give you a rundown of the ladies who have shown interest in David. So you're saying that Paradise isn't he perfect? Was he caught by you or by someone else? That is irrelevant. I only let him know that I wanted time alone to think about potential romantic partnerships. Yes, you are seeking a supplemental source of income. May I ask who it is? Or is it more than one?" Laura was interrupted by Linda. "No, I am not in a relationship at the moment. David and I are now in the midst of our 100-day separation. After that, we will make a decision on whether or not to stay married." "Okay," Linda responded, her voice accusing. "You seem to be targeting a certain individual. There is no way out of your want to engage in sexual relations with David. After your divorce is finalized, I will personally pursue David. He ought to have better." The choice was justified by Anna. Despite my admiration for him as a spouse and breadwinner, I took the effort to end our marriage. Her acts were questioned by Linda. "You are so gullible and innocent. As a provider, spouse, parent, and lover, David excels. Please let me know once you are no longer married." Linda phoned it quits. Despite Anna's best efforts, she remained anxious. Her eyes darted back to the roster of ladies. A breathtakingly attractive single mother around 25 years his junior, Amy, who was David's secretary, was included on the list. It concerned her that her spouse was seeing someone so young. The M next to one of the women's names indicates that she was married, but there were two more. Anna knew a few of the ladies from their neighborhood who had worked with David, and the rest of the names belonged to them. David has a degree in psychology, but he grew his firm to include 3 teams by staying true to his roots as a worker while in college. Anna had a sneaking suspicion he was testing the ladies' emotional stability in addition to their plumbing abilities. Unidentified ladies on the list were simply listed as waitress at diner, barista at coffee shop, and clerk at supermarket. Linda's admiration for him made her question if many other women felt the same way. He dating while they were separated was something she hadn't expected, but now she wondered if he was thinking about someone else. When David walked inside the home, he saw Anna leafing through her journal. The impending discussion gave him the willies. "It seems like you didn't blink when you found someone to take my place, huh? Strangers all, even my own sister. In what ways would you be able to?" In response, Anna spoke out. "I was only trying to keep up with your relationship status. Tell me what you mean. No one is seeing me at the moment." According to Anna, all she wants to do is try out different relationships. "Is James okay?" David asked. "Tell me how you found out about it." "Why?" Anna asked. "Is this James? Where are you headed today?" "While out for lunch, I ran into Sarah, who is the secretary to your employer, in the grocery store. A renowned gossip she is. She speaks things you can believe." Anna just had to know, what did she say? "You seem to have a strong bond with James, one of our new business associates," as Sarah pointed out. "It seems like he drops by your workplace often, and you two have lunch together daily." I watched her intently and inquired as to what was happening, since our firm has a zero-tolerance policy on workplace fraternization. Swiftly responding, Anna clarified that James is only a former college acquaintance. Just sometimes we get together. "Well, judging on Sarah's words, he may be one of the guys you're thinking about when we are apart." I dug a little deeper. Simply said, "James is a buddy. We have hardly done anything, only conversed." By the time Anna looked away just a little, she had confessed that he had been kind to her even on her darkest days. Am I missing anything? I felt that there had to be more to this tale, so I persisted. Anna paused, her face showing a trace of shame. "Were there any actions on your part that may annoy his wife?" I persisted. "Spouse, okay? He is single. Can you tell me who told you that?" she shouted. His Facebook page informed me, and I responded, "Is this the James we have here?" According to her, he did not bring up the subject of a wife at all. She expressed her confusion as she asked. I said that his profile states that he is married to Victoria and that they have 2 boys. Their relationship seems to be strong based on his wife's postings, which were made only 3 days ago. "Oh my," Anna said in astonishment. "That he was married was news to me. There is nothing I would ever do to cause a marriage to end." "It seems like you were okay with ending our own marriage, however," I fired back, hatred welling up within. As Anna became aware that she was surrounded, a deep hush descended. She was considering breaking up with me because of James, but she couldn't bring herself to acknowledge it just now. To be fair, he was among several guys I may date. Her point was that she, too, was capable of making a list. Suddenly, an important detail has come to my mind. We must share our medical records to verify that we are both clear of STDs if we choose to remain married after the divorce. "You are acting absurdly," Anna retorted. "This is only for your safety. I didn't intend to date anybody, particularly since it has just for 100 days. However, I'm capable of finding someone if the need arises. Feeling secure is important to you as well. I gently emphasized that it is not just about you, it also depends on your companions and theirs. Well, that doesn't matter, she said. Then, what are you going to do next? My to-do list is long, and it begins with reconciling our bank accounts and paying off our mortgage and other bills. Nearer to my employment, I discovered a possible flat. For the Green Oaks Apartments, my secretary Amy works nights as the manager. A 2-bedroom apartment is up for grabs. I was told that I could get half off my rent if I become an expert in apartment upkeep. You and the kids will benefit monetarily from it. Are you sure you want to sign the lease now? Anna, who was attempting to maintain a calm voice, offered that maybe you want to have to move out since we have 100 days. The lease has not been completed yet, no. Even though they don't often handle month-to-month leases, Amy said she could be willing to make an exception for 100 days. She was shocked to hear of the divorce and wanted to know more about me. Considering the age difference, I was taken aback. So far, I had no idea she thought I was beautiful. The policy of the company forbids workers and supervisors from having personal connections. Therefore, I respectfully rejected. If that was the problem, she said, look for another employment. For that reason, I said, I included it on the list. Despite her inward rage, Anna refrained from speaking out. I went on regardless of her reaction. Here is some more news that you may find useful. For a 15-day Caribbean getaway, I reserved 2 plane tickets. Our 25th anniversary was meant to be the surprise. In an instant, Anna's mood changed. Is that the Caribbean? My lifelong dream has always been to visit that place, and you know that, David. I am astounded. My favorite thing to do in the world is to go swimming and relax on the beach. It is really appreciated. However, I maintained a grave countenance. We have decided not to travel to the Caribbean as a group. It dawned on me when you brought up the possibility of a divorce that we may not reach our 25th anniversary. It was too late for me to cancel and get a refund. A 25% refund was all they could provide. I changed the tickets for you and a companion, since I know that going to the Caribbean is more of a dream for you than for me. Giving your new boyfriend an all-expenses-paid Caribbean vacation may be the perfect way to kick off your relationship. My intention was to accompany you on our Caribbean vacation, David. We can put off our separation for now. The entire event is being considered as a possibility for cancellation. After giving it some consideration, I am not as downhearted as I was before, Anna begged. Excuse me, I've given this a lot of consideration. Having the specter of divorce looming over us makes me question if I can ever be satisfied. No amount of revoking the divorce will take away the impact of your words or the mental pictures of the possible future between you and James. It doesn't matter to me whether you want a divorce or not. I just can to see my daughters growing up without you and having you be their only father figure. After that, I went upstairs to the guest room. Tragically, Megan was the one person Anna knew she could confide in. Right away, she gave her a call. Greetings, Anna. How can this be? Megan, I am in complete and utter despair. His secretary is already making advances at David after he got an apartment. In fact, my sister is interested in going on a date with him as well. His refusal to utilize the Caribbean tickets he got me for our anniversary is the worst part. I can use them to pick up my new partner, he remarked. The next step is what? A giggle escaped Megan's lips. Is anything wrong? Soak in the rays, go on an adventure, and make some incredible love with James. Yeah, I just found out that James is married, and that he and his family are planning to relocate here shortly. He can take me to the Caribbean. If David goes, I'll accompany him. Wait a second, Megan interrupted. I just may have grasped the situation's significance. David is more craftier than I first thought. His intention was to make you feel bad and end the divorce procedures. Therefore, he scheduled the vacation long ago, he says. Rest assured, as a result of your attractiveness and charisma, you will quickly attract partners who are just as excellent as James, if not better, while managing to keep your marriage and family together. I had no idea he was that cunning, it shocks me. That will be his punishment. I appreciate it, Megan. I almost gave up, but I'm back on track and ready to succeed. This will be deeply regretted by him. I do want to talk to you later. Upon my descent with a compact travel bag, Anna sent me an icy stare. What? You were attempting to fake your departure? Rest assured. Sending my regards and farewells. I was really just bringing a few items to the apartment, so I wouldn't scare the children by lugging around too much. I told Amy that because the flat is vacant anyhow, I could bring in a few items ahead of schedule. It appears like your attitude has changed since before. From what I can tell, you were having another conversation with Megan, your marital expert. She's very good at getting people to part ways, isn't she? Disregard Megan's insults if you want to provoke me. She supports me. Her eyes were sharp enough to detect your Caribbean ticket scam. You made up that story to make me give up everything. Good effort, but I'm eager to finish my divorce. There are a lot of men who want me and are prepared to cater to my demands, Anna snarled. I couldn't agree with you more, particularly with the admiration other men will show you. Once they see that you are accessible, I'm sure they all come knocking. Having you as a beautiful wife, mother, and lover has always made me feel very lucky. Until lately, you were also an excellent helpmate in our child-rearing endeavors. Regarding the vacation to the Caribbean, you are mistaken, and I have proof. Contact Horizon Travel Agency S. Laura Brown simply by calling them. Now I will call her. I took out my phone and gave it a ring. This is David Johnson, and I wanted to say hi to Laura. You may fill my wife in on the vacation specifics while she is on speakerphone. She wants to know something. David, Laura was quick to reply. It breaks my heart that you can make it. You seem to be very excited about the prospect of surprise your wife and having a good time on vacation. So, Mrs. Johnson, what exactly are you looking for? I want it now, Anna said. Could you kindly specify everything that is included by this trip? Of course. We will be visiting 2 islands throughout our 15-day voyage. This all-inclusive package includes stays at our luxurious hotels, breakfast, transportation, hula classes, luau dinners, traditional tiki shows, chances to swim, surf, and dance in a picturesque setting, and more. A lot of married people have said it changed their marriage for the better. At what point did my spouse start making plans for this vacation? With the conviction that this would reveal my lie, Anna inquired. Just give me a second, Laura responded, stopping briefly. We have data showing that he asked about it roughly 4 months ago, decided on this particular trip 3 months ago, and paid for it 2 weeks ago. He canceled the booking yesterday, and we refunded 25% of his money. His suggestion that you may still seek out a new friend caught me off guard. That reveals a great deal about his character as a spouse. You're in for a real treat. Did I miss anything? No more inquiries. Anna said, I will get back to you soon with the name, as she attempted to absorb the information. As soon as the phone ended, she began to wonder what Megan would say. You really believe you've managed to fool me again, haven't you? I brought up the subject of divorce before you and Laura hatched this plot to create this Caribbean vacation. By the way, I've figured it out, she said. Her satisfaction in her deduction warped. A deep breath escaped my lips. Have a conversation with your parents. How are my folks involved in this? Abruptly ended the conversation. While we were gone, who do you suppose will watch the girls? I inquired. All right, let's give them a call, Anna said, her surprise plainly visible. Take your time with it, my darling. I said that I was already making calls. David, hold on a second. Her mom recognized the number and answered the phone. Have the girls been okay, Anna? Good to hear from you. David, her mother greeted him. Hello, Mom, Anna said with some hesitation. He is David. This is Mom. Speakerphone is now in use. Permit me to get Dad as well, she pleaded. We could make out her dad's voice whispering somewhere. Hello, Frank. This is David and Anna. Rise, my darling. What's happening, everyone? Francis or Franco chimed in. I spoke out when Anna didn't say a word. There is no longer any need to conceal it, since Anna is fully aware. I didn't specify the reason when I phoned earlier, but I'm sorry I wanted to be able to make it. It must not be connected to your health. We were sad when you contacted us this morning to let us know that we would not be able to babysit the girls while you were in the Caribbean. We were sad that you couldn't accompany Anna on her 15-day adventure. We had been looking forward to having them here. We are aware of her strong desire to travel, but she would like to accompany you alone. Do you know who you're going with, Anna? Whoever remains, her father said, would have it rough. I still haven't made up my mind, Mom. David mentioned a vacation to the Caribbean. When did it happen? Presuming a ruse, she inquired. It's hard for me to say. Frank, can you recall? Would you believe that was just around Valentine's Day? Yes, her dad said. Very likely. He brought it up early around 2 or 3 months ago so we could have food. According to her mom, these two can eat anything they want and yet stay the same weight. Concerned, Anna's mother David interrupted. I hope Anna is doing well. When David spoke to us, why are you inquiring? Was there an incident between the two of you? Is it over? Did you end things? My mother would disagree. According to Anna, The couple decided they needed a break to re-energize their marriage and maybe even reconnect. My dear, I will not deceive your parents. I interrupted to say that they had always been forthright with me. Mom, Anna started, my intention was not to raise suspicion. What I meant was that a separation of 100 days is the first need for a divorce. During her time off, Anna hopes to discover myself, explore new opportunities, and better myself in order to become a better wife and mother. And that asks coming from me, Mom, Frank said with a loud voice. Feed me a line is something I can detect. Do you have an extra romantic partner, Anna? No, Dad, absolutely not, Anna said, her voice quivering. I considered intervening, but ultimately chose not to. The sound of his wife's tears resounded as Frank went on. The idea that you could pull this off is unbelievable to me. You were better raised by us. I am utterly let down. You can count on our warm greeting to your new boyfriend, Anna. We really regret this, David. At least make it clear that you want to keep our grandkids' visitation rights after the divorce. She broke in just as Anna's sobs were becoming worse. It seems like David has exaggerated the situation. I retract what I said. Separation and divorce are not an option. We can discuss this when things settle down. Anna, you need to get yourself together, I told her, when I saw how upset she looked. The daughter's return home is imminent. I grabbed my travel bag and made my way to the exit. Oh, so you're off too? Were you not informed? We should stay married. She begged with you, saying you didn't have to go anywhere. Without asking me, you chose to end our marriage. You believe that you can turn things around now that you are experiencing some setbacks. My opinion matters here as well, but you don't seem to get that. It seems like it would be a bad idea to abandon the divorce now that I know more about you than I did a week ago. Tonight, I intend to remain at the apartment. Do not leave, David. My apologies. It was okay with you until I mentioned this ridiculous idea of wanting a divorce. Can we just put this in the past and go back to the way things were? You said you were content. Your confession that you were unhappy and intended to have an affair with James stuck with me, even though I was pleased too. As I said before, you have already been unfaithful. Since the clauses are typical, Emily said she could create the divorce papers with ease. They could even be served tomorrow. With a fierce response, Anna said, I refuse to sign. That is irrelevant. Verifying that you have been formally served is all that Emily must do. She could pull it off in your office, maybe even in James's presence. Claiming estrangement of love is an option. It would be excessive to even consider taking legal action against your employer for breaching business rules. You must be capable of looking after the daughters after the divorce is finalized. Yeah, I am aware. I will consult with James's spouse. That ought to be enough compensation. What gives you the willies? You love me and I adore you. Can you tell me what I can do to put things right? You mentioned how difficult a divorce would be for us both. Please spare me this agony. This divorce shambles will never come up again, I swear. Anna begged with tears in her eyes to remain and figure things out. Allowing her comments to settle in, I chose to stay mute. A ray of hope appeared to Anna. As a wife, I promise to be the greatest there is. Never again will I gaze at a guy. Despite the fact that your business kept you up late and filthy, I have given you a good marriage, 2 beautiful children, and almost 25 years of support. Your achievement has made me very proud. We all err from time to time. I beg you, take another look at me. I beseech you, she said. At long last, I spoke out. Our plan is as follows. Tonight, I will bring my sleeping bag and luggage to the flat. Please jot down a few points for me. You have badly wounded me with your words and deeds. I may think about canceling or postponing the divorce if your answers satisfy my expectations. I'll be back by 8. The kids can stay with your parents or friends until we can have an adult conversation. Indeed, I am really obliged. Where do I begin? Her voice brimming with enthusiasm. Please begin by apologizing for causing this entire mess. Something more than a simple expression of regret. I implore you to pardon me. Second, tell James to quit getting in touch with you. You should let him know that he and your firm might be subject to legal action if he refuses to cooperate. And third, please enumerate all the reasons why I should think about continuing our marriage. Last but not least, give Megan a call and make it clear that you will never talk to her again. We will not budge on this. I'm going to quit the company the second I learn of Megan's involvement. Can you grasp this? Sure thing, my darling. It makes sense to me. Prepare everything, and I will be ready by 8. Very well done. We will meet at 8. I grabbed my travel bag and sped off. Mentally practicing her lines to Megan, Anna honed down on the last assignment. "That was my greatest mistake," she told Megan over the phone. "You almost caused me to lose everything important in my life. Please do not even think about me, much less contact me via phone, text, or email. Stay away from me if we happen to meet paths in public, or I will not take responsibility for what I do." Anna called James and conveyed my instructions after feeling an unexpected feeling of comfort after addressing Megan. She recalled his heartfelt request to meet for a last time, but she denied his request and instead attacked him, accusing her of being unworthy. If he persisted in making problems, she threatened to implicate his wife. Surprisingly, it was the simplest assignment to come up with reasons why I should remain married. Anna thought back on the happiness we enjoyed, free from wanting anything more than what we had together. She made a long list in the hopes that it would wow me. She admitted her ignorance and selfishness and apologized for the divorce hoax. Anna felt ready and optimistic as 8 o'clock drew near. Concern started to creep in, however, as the hour passed and I still hadn't come back. I resurfaced 5 minutes later, this time without my bags and with the same attitude. As she gave me her answers, Anna did her best to keep her cool. My responses follow. I urge you to think again. My eyes welled up with tears as I read the list word by word. When Anna saw me crying, she thought it would be a good omen and started crying too. "Anna, this is truly remarkable," I said, my voice quivering. I motioned for Anna to remain seated, but her heart skipped a beat as she sprang up to hug me. "Although your effort is praiseworthy, I doubt you comprehend the depth of the suffering you have inflicted upon me." I went on to say that I was afraid I had no choice but to go forward with the divorce. Devastated was Anna. She seemed to have her heart broken. Her anguish was so great that she collapsed on the floor and cried hysterically. "I am responsible for the demise of my family. The worst person in the world is me. I am unworthy of existence. How on earth could I have acted so naively?" she sobbed. "Now you know how I felt," I said as I knelt by her side. I went to the door but stopped, looking back at Anna as she kept crying. "Am I permitted to see anybody else while we reapart?" The words escaped Anna's lips as she fought back her emotions. "So what's on the agenda for Friday night, assuming you are allowed to date? How about we grab some food and go see a movie?" I inquired. "So, you want to go on a date with me?" Wiping away her tears, Anna said, "I do think our previous connection has evolved, but maybe we can begin again." It was my recommendation. After rekindling her optimism, Anna hurried over to me. She exclaimed with an overwhelming sense of certainty,